my friend got stabbed in his belly 3 times. And I remember it like it was yesterday, and when I looked over, he had a white t-shirt on, but that white t-shirt was now red.
They stabbed him in his side of his stomach. My baby turned around. They put that in his heart. How cruel is that?
My name is Daniel, I'm 27 years old. I'm a survivor from knife crime, and I also used to carry a knife from the age of 14.
I'm Pooja Kanda, Ronan Kanda's mom, who was murdered in a mistaken identity in 2022. And since then, I'm a knife crime campaigner.
So if you would like to meet face to face, please pull back your curtain now. Daniel, where were you born?
I was born in LADbible in Birmingham City. I've lived there for all my life. Obviously, some people will say that it's not a good area of poverty and that, but that's home to me.
And what were you like as a child, Daniel?
Well, I'd like to think I was a cute, pleasant child, but people probably would say I was a bit naughty, because I said I was autistic. So sometimes I would find it hard fitting in. I stand out different to the others. So sometimes I would feel like an outcast. I wouldn't say I was bullied, but I was the black sheep of the group, if that makes sense. I went to an all-boys school at first. I think it was in year 10. I got kicked out of then. I went to a behaviour school, Lindsworth. So yeah, I didn't really make it through to the whole of the boys' school that I went to at first.
And why did you get kicked out of that school?
I suppose they had enough of giving me chances.
Can you tell me a bit about why you began to carry a knife?
And when I was younger, about 14, my friend was in an altercation where they're supposed to just have a one-on-one. If no one doesn't know what a one-on-one means, that means a fight with just hands, no weapons. We got into having a fight, and then a knife dropped, and then from that knife dropped on the floor, it got a bit hectic, and everyone's moving erratic and that. Oh, you brought a knife to a fight. You don't bring a knife to a fight. And then in that situation, I ended up getting stabbed in my finger. Well, my finger's still peppered now. I still got the scar now. I can't even make a fist. And my friend got stabbed in his belly 3 times. And I remember it like it was yesterday, and when I looked over, he had a white t-shirt on, but that white t-shirt was now red. And you see, at that moment then, I just knew the streets don't play fair. Like, this life, this world that I'm in, it's not a fair game. So you can't think you're about to go to have a fight, because someone might pull out a knife or someone might pull out a gun, or you can be walking home and you might just be thinking you're going to the shop, but someone wants to rob you for your phone or something with a knife. So at that moment there, that's when it really hit me, and I understood these streets do not play fair, and it's you or them out there, and you gotta protect yourself at any means possible.
And how many of your friends were carrying knives after that?
After that situation, everyone, it became part of our uniform. So the same way that you put your coat on when it's cold, or you put your chains on when you're going outside, it was a thing like, it's also them. Like, if that altercation ever happened to me, I probably wouldn't have ever even rolled with a knife.
I'm originally from Wolverhampton. We were a very happy family, a small, happy family. It was me, my husband, my daughter, and my son, 4 of us.
Can you tell me a little bit about the day that Ronan was born and how it felt to become a mother to Ronan?
How do I say, so elated with love, with that little boy when I put him on my chest. And I hugged him, and I could not believe that I was a mother again to such a cute boy. And at that moment, I was like, I'm going to take care of you, my boy, my son. And that was the moment that I knew I'm complete. He was growing into such a gracious, loving, caring son. Brilliant, funny, witty, clever. Most of all, he liked his sister. He loved his sister. I used to say they're twins, born 5 years apart. That's how much love I saw. And I'm so proud of it, that my kids loved each other so much.
And what was your relationship like with your son?
He hasn't left me. I absolutely adore him. Sorry. After the things that I have seen in my childhood, like I was brought up without a dad, then I had a difficult marriage. There was this man, this little boy, who absolutely loved me for who I am, respected me, showed me what love's about. And that's my son.
Can you tell me about the morning of the day that Ronan was killed? What happened?
I was at work, morning of the day. I went to work. There was nothing. Ronan finished his GCSEs on Friday. He said to me, Mom, I want to go and play snooker with my friends. And I was like, no, you're not going because you're still young, you're 16, and the snooker place is for adults. And he was like, please, Mom, you never let me go, you never let me grow up. And I was like, that's true. You gotta let them grow, don't you? You got to let them grow, you have to let them make their own decisions. And that was my way of saying, yeah, you've done GCSEs, you've done really well. So when I got home, I just saw him for a couple of seconds, that's it. He just had his hair cut on the day. He looked dashing. I quickly kiss my son's cheeks and tell him he's looking very nice, very handsome. And then that's it. That was the last time I saw him alive.
And can you tell me about how the rest of that day unfolded? What happened?
I go meditation classes. I went there every Wednesday. I just have this urge not to speak. I feel like really numb, really, really numb. And then all of a sudden, my neighbor who was in that class as well, she got up. She said, oh, my brother's calling me. She walked and gone. Well, I had this massive urge to get up and walk behind her. I did not want to be in that room, in the circle of meditation. So I walked behind her and she said, oh, somebody's been stabbed. And then how oblivious I was that it's not my son. Why would he be my son? Ronan hasn't carried a knife. Ronan is not a member of gangs. There are no insecurities. He's never carried the drugs. He's just a normal child. I call my husband to say, where's Ronan? He says to me, Ronan's just gone out for 5 minutes. I said, but you just picked him up from snooker club. He said, yeah. He came home and he said, Dad, I just want to go for 5 minutes walk quickly to my friend's house. He never came home. These two people came out of red Corsa car. They had swords in their hand. Where are we? Which world we living in? The two 16-year-old children, I reiterate again, children, carrying massive swords. They stabbed him in his side of his stomach. Ronan felt that sword, the 20-inch sword, went right in my son's stomach. My baby turned around. They put that in his heart. How cruel is that? All all I remember running towards the scene. I'm running, throwing things, pushing people, begging police to let me in. And nobody's let me in because they're trying to operate on him to save his life. But they couldn't save him because that sword was horrendously sharp object, went through him, piercing him. He bled to death. There and then he just dropped within a second of being stabbed. For what? Mistaken identity? Because you wanted to kill somebody who lives down the road? And you thought my son is that boy? One of the ambulance people, he came forward and he said to me, I'm sorry, we tried to operate on him and we couldn't save him. That was the moment that they told me that my son's not coming back. And my son lost his life. And so did I. Pooja died on that day too. In that moment, you took my life as well. Bear with me, please. Molly, I need to calm down.
That's okay. Daniel, how did it feel to carry a knife?
I used to feel like I was empowered, but later down the line, I've realized you're not empowered at all. If anything, it makes you a target, because you can get killed with that knife yourself. You can actually end up killing someone and doing 30 years over a stupid situation. Then you also have the conflict with police. But at the moment, at the time when I was younger, I used to think I was empowered. I'm untouchable now. I've got my knife. You come for me, I'm gonna win.
Why did you stop carrying a knife?
There was the sense of I'm on my third strike of getting arrested with knives. So I knew one more time, jail. Knives was just ruining my life at that time. They was just causing me a headache. They was injuring me, injuring my friends, getting me arrested, making my life hard at school to do my GCSE. So I was realizing slowly that it was no good, but it was still that thing in the back of my mind where it's me or them. This is what happened to me. I know I'm getting in trouble. I know it's causing me problems, but I kind of still need to have this, because what if that situation happens again? So sometimes it comes to that, are you gonna take that risk? Are you gonna take that risk where you may be arrested to keep your life? And I feel like I'd probably rather get arrested than lose my life, if that makes sense. As much as jail's not good either, it's one of the other, is how I put it in my mind. I didn't see no third option. There was moments where I knew it was wrong, so I'd stop, and then there was moments where I really felt like I needed it. And there was just like other little factors and that, like, it was just long. You see that when you see in police and that, I might not even be doing nothing, but I know I got my knife, so now I'm more awkward, and now I feel like I got to run for no reason. It was a horrible way of living.
So where are you at this point of your life and your journey with carrying a knife?
I don't roll with no knives. I've never touched one for years now. So I'm in a good place. Like, I understand I'm trying to do campaigns to stop people from rolling with knives myself, so I can walk with my head proud. Like, it's a good feeling.
How do you deal with the temptation of carrying a knife again?
Well, the temptation is real, because obviously I still, like I said, I live in the same place where I've been stabbed, where I've been shot, so it is hard. And like I said, from 14, all I've kind of known was the street life, so that's kind of is my go-to most of the time. So I just feel like, not just me, but a lot of people get caught into that temptation because that's all they know.
How do you feel towards people that carry knives, Pooja?
I don't know, because when I get to see some of their stories, I feel like we adults are so lame, so useless for not helping them kids. They're screaming for help. But I also feel that they're making the wrong choices. They have no morals, they have no values, these children. How come there is nobody's intervening to tell them that was right and wrong.
So you've both had the chance to hear each other's stories, and now is the time to decide if you would like to meet face to face to speak further. Daniel, do you feel that Pooja might want to meet you?
50-50. I believe there's reasons why she would want to, and I believe there's reasons why she wouldn't want to as well. I know some people believe that people can't change.
So if you would like to meet, please pull back your curtain now.
Hi, Daniel.
Hello, Pooja. Nice to meet you.
I heard your story.
I heard yours as well. I'm sorry for your loss. I know it wasn't my fault, but I do feel your pain.
Thank you. I feel like a couple of things I could ask you. I just trying to make sense to it. Why would you want to carry a knife? It's just like you carry what type, pocket knife or something?
Yeah.
And some kids are carrying machetes, in our instance, sword. How do you not feel like, I know you're saying that it's to protect yourself, but in order to protect yourself, are you willing to take somebody else's life because you're not thinking straight?
In my predicament, I was more fearful for my life because you see this street life, there's, like I said, there's a code. So you can't snitch, you can't go to police, even going to your parents or your mother or your father, it looks weak, people will take the mick out of you, and it's a certain thing that you just can't do them certain things. So mine was more for just, I wanted to feel protected, and I just wanted to feel like I can't get hurt again. So I just started rolling with them. It's in the fact of I'm going outside to kill nobody because I'm not a killer. That's not what I've been raised up. Like you've heard, I've come from a good background, but I just didn't want to get hurt again. And I don't feel like there was nobody that could help me.
Not even your own mum or your family?
When you think about the situation, what really could somebody do? You know what I mean? Like, they can speak to me, they can offer me wisdom,
Yeah.
They can try to keep me grounded, but it's a simple fact is when I step out onto that road, out my house, out that door, when I step out of college, I step out of school, I'm on my own now. So there's not always somebody there to protect you or to keep you safe. Things in the world ain't fair. Like you can just die or nothing. Like obviously, like your son, like you know what I mean. He wasn't doing nothing,
Yeah.
and then look what happened to him. So.
That is what I'm saying.
So I was a bit fearful towards that as well, like stuff like that happening to me.
But if Ronan carrying a knife wouldn't have protected him? Because that happened from back. What would have protected Ronan? Not the perpetrator carrying the knife. What would have protected my son for becoming a victim is that the perpetrator is enlightened and knows what's right and wrong. You said nobody listens to police, but why not?
Because it's just, obviously we come from two different worlds, so I'm guessing you're like a 9-to-5 woman and
Yes.
straightforward. Obviously, as much as my mom and my dad are good citizens of life, it's just the kind of how I've grown up was the street life. So. When you say guidance, I got loads of guidance. I had loads.
Sure.
But I just didn't listen. And then you see later on down the line when certain situations happen, like look at me now, like, all right, cool, I have a bad past, I've done certain things. But now I'm a law-abiding citizen, like, I'm trying to fight against the pandemic just like you. Like, if anything, we're on the same team, you know what I mean? But if you asked me this 10 years ago, we wouldn't have been on the same team, you know what I mean? So sometimes you have to go through things to learn. And people like me from the streets, you can't have somebody coming to us in a suit, in a tie, trying to tell us, because we're not taking that in. You're coming from a whole different world. We need more people like myself to try to educate the youth, to tell them. Because when someone like me speaks to them, you're going to listen. Look at the government. The government doesn't even help the youth no more. The government's just locked off all the youth centres. I got a football pitch at the back of my house with no football goals on there, so the kids can't even play football. So it's like people say that they're trying to help or they want to stop knife crime, but who is really actually trying to stop it? You know what I mean?
The government is trying now.
Not really.
They are. They are. Give them a chance, Daniel. No, I'm not just talking about the government here. I am trying.
Yeah, like small
I'm
businesses
coming
like us are,
forward.
but
When we are talking about the government, knife crime is not something that has happened just now. It's been happening for many years.
Exactly. So it's been happening for many years.
Now is what in last 3 years is what we have endured, is what has showed me that these type of weapons were available online. And then with government's help, we are banning these type of weapons, including the ninja sword, the very ninja sword that was used to kill my son. That's banned now.
Is it only just getting banned now?
It's getting only banned now.
You see what I mean though? Why have they only done it now if it's been going on for years?
I'd rather have it banned now.
Yeah, it's good
They're
that it's
not
getting
banned
banned.
at all. I agree with you. Totally agree. Why is it getting banned now? But it's getting banned now. Let's work on that. I can't keep going on back. I can't keep concentrating on, we don't have this, we don't have that, we never had this, this is the color race, or this is I'm done with all that. All I'm about, making the change now. So a child like my son comes home to a mother like me. You have stopped. Thank you. And I hope that you never go back. Because if you to go back, I don't want your sorry, I don't want your words. I want actions. If there are people who are carrying knife and they can hear me, stop now. You're making the wrong choices and you're implementing your wrong choices on innocent families like me. You're with me in this.
I'm with you with that 100%.
Stop now. You carrying that knife is not helping you, your family, and the victim that you will be killing next.
Amen.
I genuinely don't see you as a threat. I see the somebody who had hard life and has come out of it. Well done. But I do worry that you might go back. That's because you have gone back. I really hope that you stay strong and you fight back like this mother is doing.
Amen.
Like I am doing today.
You're doing very well. It's strong coming here to speak your story. It takes guts. So I think everyone here respects you and appreciates you for sharing your story. I believe everyone deserves a second chance. And I can promise you that I know that I will never carry a knife again. I haven't done it for years and I will never go back down that road because I've learned from my mistakes. The fact have you got the law changed, that's down to your son. And
yes,
you should feel honoured for that you're doing amazing things. That's the remembrance of your son. So I just want you to know that you're doing good and your son isn't going to be forgotten. And even in my line of work now, your son's a part of that. So I just want you to know that you've met someone with me today. Hopefully in the future we're friends and we're side by side fighting this pandemic together.
Thank you.
Adam left us the moment his head bounced off the pavement.
It came up on the TV that 2 men had been arrested for murder, and she said, "Please don't tell me that's you." I told her that it was. I tragically killed somebody with a single punch.
I lost my brother to a single punch in 2009.
So if you would like to meet face to face, please pull back your curtain in 3, 2, 1.